You look amazing. I just saw on your Twitter that you're just on Good Morning America, which is great. And I love your outfit choice, by the way. It has nothing to do
Oh,
with
thank
anything.
you. Thanks so
I
much.
remember, so I remember interviewing you and the cast before the show ever aired.
Mhm.
And you were all so lovely. And I was so stoked that I really loved the show because I love the movie so much. And that was a worry going into it. But the show's amazing. And it is one of my favorite shows. And I am so happy that you're going into the third season right now.
Just like overnight, right? We just met right before the show aired.
I know. And then I found out you were friends with Jesse Moulton, one of my favorite people in the world. And that made me so
With
happy.
Jesse Moulton. I know, the Moultons really well. I've been on Leonard's
On the
show.
podcast.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite episodes. Everyone should
Yeah.
watch your episode of Moulton on the movies. Really. But what is it like? What are you most excited going into the third season about?
Well, I'm really excited to see this new layer to Guillermo, so where we left off was kind of the Van Helsing, secret exposed and the killing of all those vampires in the theater. And I'm really excited to show everyone that Guillermo does have his limits, and everyone has their limits, and Guillermo certainly pushed to his this season.
I find, even though it isn't like the supernatural and it deals with vampires, and still Guillermo is so relatable because I think everybody in their life feels like they put whatever situation they've been in where they put in so much effort, whether it's work or friendship, and it's going unnoticed, or like, what am I doing with my life? I think especially now people are kind of feeling like that a lot this last year. So I find your character so like uber relatable. And
I think you're right. You nailed it on the head. It's everyone can relate to Guillermo because A, he's the only human in the household, and B, we've all been a Guillermo in one point or another in our lives. Whether it's right now or in the past, or you might be tomorrow. We've all been overlooked for a promotion at a work that we work really hard at. We've all been infatuated with someone from afar. We're too scared to be honest with our feelings. We've all been scared to talk to our family about something that's important to like. Everyone can relate to him because we all are Guillermo. So when you root for him, you're rooting for yourself. And when he's mistreated, you get upset because you see yourself in him and you see that the misjustice or the injustice in it all.
That's why I loved how season 2 ended in the theater and Guillermo kind of just kicked ass as, and really it was, I love that. But even at the end of the episode, Nandor, after all that happened, I forget what he says, but it was something so insignificant. Like he was kind of like went over his head, actually, what just the whole scheme of things, what just happened there.
Right. You just want to get the laundry. So I don't give a shit.
Laundry, yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, that whole line, that's the vibe of the show, right? Like it's we set you up and we do have like really great moments, and they're soft and sweet and exciting and adventure, like action-packed fighting scenes. But then we end it with a great button, like a joke like that. It's like that's what makes the show so unique.
Truly, I mean, I think just a testament to like the skills of the actors and the writers. Something about the show that I find really enjoyable that I found similar with the movie is it's one of those shows, and there's very few of them that I actually want to watch over again, and I don't mind. Just like I will watch it over and over again, which is like shows like that are very far and a few to me, but and they're enjoyable every time and funny every time. They continue to be funny viewing after viewing.
Right, you'll always find something new. I've noticed that I myself, I was talking about this with our set designer, that I always find something new on set, even though I've been on that set hundreds of times. I always find something new. I was just thinking about the other time when I was in the library, and there was a little nook with like tons of books and little papers that just looked like been there for decades, and I picked up this one piece of paper, and it was a Disneyland map from 1988. And I was like, what story is this? Like, this is a great story. Like, why do they have a map to Disneyland from the 80s? Like the idea that like this is in their household, how did it get here? So there's all these like little trinkets that you'll always find, even with the jokes. Even when you go back, you'll find a joke that you might have heard wrong or listened to and didn't get the joke right away, and it's like, oh, now that makes sense. That happens to me all the time.
I mean, I was even thinking back to an episode, and I had totally forgot about this, and I was rewatching something. I was like, oh god, the blood vape pen, that's hilarious. I totally forgot about that, but like little things like that's I think that's hilarious.
Yeah.
So like going into this in the last season too, like especially towards the end, like you're your role, it's a lot more physical. I was curious, what kind of like training or choreography did you have to do for that? Because there's a lot more action and fighting.
Well, they came to me and they said, "Do you think you could do a couple of stunts? If maybe we should just show you, like, can you do this?" And they like a punch. And I was like, "Yeah, that looks fun. Can you do a kick? Sure. Can you jump out of a third-story window? Why not?" And so, ended up doing most of my stunts with my stunt double, Josh, who's great, really funny guy. He was just like, "Hey, you keep doing this, you're gonna leave me out of a job," Which I was like, no, I can't do like all the major stuff. And at the end of the day, we just had a great, time choreographing with our stunt coordinator Tig, who's just so great at it. He knows that the camera's going to capture the fight, and so when he choreographs something, or we rehearse it, it's done for the camera, so the angle is going to be a specific way. And he's so great, and he directed one of the episodes this season. So
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I also too. I remember all these little bits now that I love so much. When they did at the theater, the reenactment of Guillermo trying to fight a vampire, and it's the little guy.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's so many just like funny little moments.
All these moments.
What do you hope for Guillermo to become of Guillermo, or what do you hope to see him grow into as the series progresses?
Well, I hope he grows into his true self, and I hope that he finds happiness. I think he's in a search for happiness. And I think that for so long, the backstory that I give Guillermo is that he was probably very unhappy, growing up, and probably really lonely and pretty bullied, and spent a lot of times watching old movies and watching movies that he could escape with. And one of those movies that, caught his eye was Interview with the Vampire. And so now he thinks that that's what he wants to be. If it's possible to be a vampire, why wouldn't you be a vampire? Always be a vampire. But it's not happening so far. And along the way, sometimes you realize that the goal you set for yourself and what you think is good for you isn't the best choice for you. And let the universe take charge. And the universe is like, look over here, you're a badass, Van Helsing, stop looking over there. And so now he's kind of at a crossroads where he's like, I am really good at this, but that's always in my dream. And I still like that lifestyle. I don't know any other lifestyle because I've been catering to these vampires for over a decade. So what do I do? So it's a nice crossroads and a great place for me as an actor to kind of, be able to play different layers to him.
I know in your acting, Lexicon, you have a background in musical theater. Do you think there'll be opportunity for you to explore maybe more of your musical side within the series, or hope to?
I hope so. I think there was a scene in the last season, season 2, where we are at a community college, and someone says, the joke was like, Nandor was like, "What is this place? It's full of young, sad people." It was like, it's a theater department at my old community college. And the idea was that Guillermo used to be in take some classes. I think there's a story there as well where, like, he took classes at the community college, and he was in the stagecraft group. And so the idea that he went to community college and did that is kind of a backstory there that we can dive into. But he has a background, I think, that he has a flair for the dramatic. He appreciates the art. So yeah, maybe there's an opportunity for me to sing in the future musical
I would love
piece.
I think it would. I see it. I mean, I would love it. I vote yes for that.
Yeah.
Is there anything that that like fans have really responded to that like makes is really important, or it's really meant a lot to you in this whole process that you've seen since you've been on this show in particular?
Yeah, I mean, it's meant a lot to see. I got to do some cons, before, like Comic-Con and Dragon Con, and meet some of the people that watch the show, and it was really lovely to meet all the fans. But it was really great to see the people who dressed in cosplay, like the characters, like Guillermo or Nandor, the other characters, and it was in particular nice to see Latinx kids who came up to me and said that they saw themselves represented on this show, and they've never seen that before. They've never seen something that's represented, that's Latinx, that's part of the goth world and part of the comedy world, all intertwined together. It's so rare to see that. And so it was nice to check off something that meant so much to someone, because that's worth it. That's worth its weight in gold.
I mean, that is such, I know I have to wrap up, that it is such, like, I think such an important part too, is I always think the most important roles are ones that people actually feel that they're being seen, where before they felt kind of invisible and didn't feel that. And I'm someone who's mixed and definitely was a gothy teenager. I'm going to go see Morrissey in 2 days in Las Vegas. So I'm still a gothy teenager. So what you just said is like hits my heart, and I love that so much.
See,
and I think that's just
I said, yeah, see exactly what you said. It means something to someone, so it means the world to me, you know.
Well, I adore you so much, and I'm so excited about the show. I love it, and it's just a show that makes me happy to watch, and I just always gravitate towards it. I remember you at Comic-Con because I saw you on the street and I ran up to you like a crazy person, like it was after and I was like, Harvey, I didn't know you're friends with Jesse Moulton. That's great. That's what I said to you.
Jesse Moulton, bringing people together.
I love her. She's just, anybody who's, because I remember after your interview, she told me, she's like, oh, I love Harvey. I'm like, of course you do, because he was amazing. And the Moultons, they're such fine people and have such fine characters. So anyone good in their book, I know is an amazing person in real life.
There you go, and vice versa.
Yes. But thank you. I'm so excited. I was so excited to talk to you, Harvey. And I love you. And I'm really excited for this 3rd season and many more.
Oh, thank you, Jennifer. And it was good seeing you again. And until
You
next,
too.
At next Comic-Con.
Yeah, yes.